Is the new 718 Cayman Styling Edition enough power? We're showcasing the 2025 718 Cayman in a metallic blue over black. We have a few packages, so this is going to increase the price over 6 figures, which brings that question into play because you could go 50 horsepower more for maybe $5,000, 94 horsepower more, and you're still going to be less than this with the packages we have. And if you tick the box to the GTS 4, 99 horsepower more than the GTS. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the comparison between these vehicles so that way you can see if this is a good deal to get. Once you start adding packages to any of the Porsches, it's going to escalate the price pretty high because this starts just a touch over 78 grand and we're already in the $100,000 price point where you could get the GTS that would have 94 horsepower more than this, and it changes the engine to a 6-cylinder where we have the 4-cylinder. So is it worth getting? Well, it's going to start with the 4-point LED headlights and daytime runnings. We have the pinstripe with the Porsche logo. The lower will get the front parking sensors, and you have a frunk, so you do have a sufficient amount of cargo capacity because now you have 2 trunks. It's a mid-engine vehicle, so you have to supplement some of the area for cargo capacity. So it's okay, it ticks the box for that everyday use. That's why I would tick the box for this. But if you're looking for a little bit more performance, I would suggest ticking the box to the S because you're going to get about 5 miles per hour quicker top speed, about 0.2 seconds quicker on the 0 to 60. Adding the chrono package makes this a little bit better in that deal because you're getting 4.7 seconds, the top speed at 171 miles per hour. We have these upgraded 235, 35, 20 up front with a 265, 35, 20 out back. So a staggered wheel setup. Behind those wheels, disc reading is at 13.8 inches in the front, vented and slotted. The rear is at 13 inch. 4 pistons is clamping behind that Porsche badge with a single piston in the rear. When you go into the GTS, it's not only changing to a 6-cylinder, but you're also getting 6 pistons in the front. You're getting more stoppage because the disc is also large. Here we have the 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged. It's pumping out 300 horsepower with 280 pound-feet of torque paired to the 7-speed PDK, which when you add that chrono package, you shed 0.2 seconds on the 0 to 60. On the top speed, it's not going to change any configuration there with a quarter mile at 13.2 seconds. Optional Porsche active suspension management that lowers the suspension by 10 millimeters. The rear wing will deploy at speeds over 78 miles per hour, or you can do it by the push of a button. Going back to the question, is this worth the price? For 5 grand more, you're going to shed 0.5 seconds 0 to 60. The horsepower is going to be 50 horsepower more going into the S trim, but this is going to be sufficient for the daily drive. But if you're looking to get more of the track performance, I would say go into the GTS, so that way you get the 3.8 seconds with the chrono package. You're going to be right at the same price here, so you're going to lose some of the interior features that you're getting with the styling edition. But if you go into the RS4, is 0.6 seconds really a difference? It's really the 16 to 17 miles per hour top speed that makes it worth that extra 60 grand. Clear LED tail lights with reverse sensors and a reverse camera, and a con that always comes into play with these sports cars and supercars. This is not a supercar, but they don't like to give 360-degree reverse camera standard. I mean, when you're at a 6-figure price, you kind of need something like that. Is this worth it? For the daily drive, it is, because you're still going to get the fun that's captured out of Porsche. And for those concerned about cargo space, well, you have another 5.3 cubic feet of storage here. So this is the deep storage. You can put some bags here in the front. 9.3 cubic feet of storage is going to come into the back. So you'll have enough for a nice little weekend trip. But this is a 718 Cayman. We need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. The key fob to the 718 Cayman. 18-way power seat adjustment because we have the adaptive sport seating, heated, ventilated leather seats, chalk outline, as well as the upgraded seat belts. Memory for the driver. upgraded Bose sound system. We have the Sports Chrono package. You push this here, and now you have your cup holders. We also have the wireless charging pad, but you'll have to use the key in order to start the vehicle because there's no push button start. Let's fire it up. The Chrono Sports package, so you'll have that clock right there. The air vents and the dash is going to keep it nice and sporty. We have the navigation through Porsche Connect, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Here's for your SD cards. Put it into reverse, and this is always a con to me. Just the reverse camera. Now you do have sensors all around the vehicle, and the trajectory does expand, but when you start paying six figures, I think it should be a standard 360-degree reverse camera, but let me know your thoughts on that. Toggle switches to turn up and down the dual climate control setting or the fan speed, your switches for the seats, 718 badging, PDK that's going to be there for the transmission. You can activate the exhaust, turn the auto start stop off, and you can lower and raise the wing. A little storage pocket here. You have to open it on this side to access the USB port here. Leather wrapped steering wheel, multi-function. The paddle shifts, and a 4.6 TFT display that can go through an array of different content for the driver, including the navigation. And you have your driver mode select right here, so you can have it as individual. You got the boost response, you got normal, sport, which you already hear the exhaust kick in, sport plus, and you also have the active exhaust, and you can lower or raise the wing by simply just pushing the button here. Leg space is going to be more than enough. Headroom, I would definitely recommend the sport seats with this 18-way power seat adjustment. The contrast stitch in chalk comes into the dash and door panel, so it configures nicely. One touch up and down for the windows. It's going to be sporty. You got a little storage pocket here and a storage pocket in front of the Bose sound system. Taking the 718 Cayman Style Edition out, 300 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. We have the Chrono package, which drops that 0 to 60, which is pretty quick, especially when you're this low to the ground. In any type of coupe, it's going to feel a lot faster than the numbers project. And they're usually pretty conservative with their 0 to 60 numbers. I would definitely recommend these seats because it just changes the whole drive. If you're looking to capture a fun vehicle that's not just for the weekend, that you can daily, you get great MPGs and it's pretty darn quick, a top speed over 170 miles per hour. I mean, this is the way to go. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is for, I think it's about $600 difference in price from the base to the Style Edition. Definitely tick the box. The seats, more comfortable than the standard. They're ventilated. You got 18 different positions, which makes it even more comfortable for a day in and day out use. For maneuverability, it's a Porsche. And that's what I like about Porsche. Like, it just unlocks a lot. We got it in Sport Plus. Handling is great. Am I concerned about a Turbo 4? Not really. With 300 horsepower, this thing just weighs a touch over 3,000 pounds. On the interstate, sounds good. Sound deadening could be a little bit better. That's going to be a con, but you also expect it to be a little bit noisy because of what you're getting. I mean, it's a Porsche. PDK shifts good too. I like the response to it. It's very rapid. The Chrono package helps a little bit more so definitely tick the box to that. Just a very playful vehicle. And then if you want to just daily it, put it into your regular mode. Look at the brakes. That's why you go Porsche. You can stop on a dime, but is it worth getting this for a daily? mean, you're seeing what you're getting on a 0 to 60. It's quick. I like the performance that you're getting because it literally is more than enough power. At the pricing, some of the features I may not tick the box to, because when you start adding it up, you are at a GTS price, but you're gonna be lacking the features that you're getting here. So that is something to cross shop between, because it does change the engine out and it's gonna be a lot more performance than what you're getting here. But even if you went to an S, that would be sufficient power. I just don't see the bump for $5 unless you're already at that price with features and they're gonna discount some stuff. Because when you start looking at it at that perspective, I mean, I understand 5,000 to maybe 10, 15,000 is different, but look what you get. I mean, it's enough. Hit the boost. And it just takes off. It's a very fun vehicle. You're gonna be engaged. The PDK, like I said, is just an amazing way. Is it worth getting this as your daily? Yes. Is it worth it for some performance? You're gonna get that also, but you're not going to unlock performance for the track, but it's gonna give you enough value for the day in and day out. So I would suggest going the Style Edition for the few $100 more than the base trim. But like I said, on the exterior, the sweet spot truly is the S in the GTS, unless you really want to unlock a ton of power going into the RS4. But when you're at 160 grand, I mean, now you're at 911 money. Driving it daily, you're gonna feel some of the imperfections. These are sports seats, even though you have more power seat adjustment, that's just going to keep you planted whenever you are mashing on the gas and when you're taking bends on the road. Visibility is going to be good, but you will be sitting low to the ground, but that's to be expected. The steering has pretty good feedback, especially when you start getting a little bit more aggressive and you start taking bends on the road. The lack of storage capacity is definitely a con, but it's also a smaller vehicle, so that's to be expected. Not a huge fan of the cup holders that come out of the dashboard, but at least you still have them. I don't like that you have to pay extra for a navigation, as well as a phone charger, as well as these chalk seat belt. I mean, come on, at some point, give me something. This is a Porsche. There is a difference in the dynamics whenever you are changing the driving mode. So that is something to also play with if you test drive this vehicle, because if you just do it in like a normal or even a sport, it's not going to be as athletic as the Sport Plus. You want to activate it that way, so that way you can get the full potential of that 300 horsepower, and then click the boost so that way you can see it just tick. You get 20 seconds of boost, which is more than enough to have some fun, especially in light to light. And that's the beauty about Porsche. It's not only a vehicle that livens up, but it's always a playful vehicle, even with a lower 0 to 60, because the vehicle itself is going to be fast normally. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here. And I'd like to thank our friends here at Porsche Clearwater